Alrighty everyone, welcome back. We are getting closer to the end of June of 2023, and given that we have, of course, until the second week of July to really get a true idea of where Indy 5 stands at the box office results, and how Disney is going to perceive whether or not it's a success or a true failure, that is upon us and it is looming. We also have a lot of things happening right now between Favreau and Filoni with the Ahsoka Tano series that's also going to debut on August 26th. But more interestingly enough, we have things happening right now with Daisy Ridley and the new Jedi Order film, as I like to call it. I'll just call it the Rey movie. And what's going on with that right now. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support, and let's get right into the situation here. Now, we know that Daisy Ridley is already training for the role of the new Jedi Order film. This movie is going to happen. Just to make it very clear, they are going to begin filming by April of 2024. It's already checkboxed in. It is going to start filming on location and in studio around that time frame. Now, yes, the writer's strike is still happening, but it is expected to end within the summer. Alright, so that's going to give them enough leeway for Stephen Knight to finish writing the ending of the script, get that all done within about a month or two at max, and then begin casting, and then get the ball rolling by April. So they have more than enough time. Now, what's interesting, though, is what Daisy Ridley had to say about the REY SKYWALKER Backlash, and how a lot of fans just are not looking forward to this movie and are not in support of Rey's return, especially the concept of REY SKYWALKER. Let's get into it. Now, with actress Daisy Ridley beginning to become more direct with the fans about the upcoming new Jedi Order movie slated for 2026, yes, it has been delayed, that begins filming next year, she went on to address the ongoing backlash related to REY SKYWALKER. Well, I have noticed that, and I think it's so disheartening to see a reaction like that. I think Rey is a fantastic character that holds so much value and potential. Sure, maybe she wasn't the best written character in the sequels. I can understand that. But the fans already are refusing my character's return for my upcoming film that Stephen Knight is working so hard on is extremely immature. I think fans need to seriously cut it out because it not only creates low confidence in the writers and the directors a part of this project, but also it puts so much weight on the cast and the crew that it can make it a very tough production for all of us. I mean, I would say I have a really thick skin, so this kind of response I just sort of rub off my shoulder. It's why I took so much time off of Instagram for a while to shift away from that time when I was working on the sequels. But what does bother me is how it impacts the creators. I just feel that these type of fans don't understand Star Wars for those that loathe REY SKYWALKER so very much. Now let me stop here for a second, guys. We, and those that have an issue with Rey, and specifically the concept of her calling herself REY SKYWALKER, have valid reasons why they hold so much criticism over the character. Now look, I don't hate Daisy Ridley. I don't really, put full blame on her for how her character was executed in the sequel trilogy. That was all writing, that was all the script, that was all Kathleen Kennedy's vision pushed upon Daisy. But it's one thing to realize that, your character wasn't well written in the sequels, which she acknowledged, but it's another thing to begin to say that the fans are immature for not liking something, or the fans are really, being very, at a place for really not wanting to support a movie like this. I think fans have a valid reason why they don't want Rey to return, is that we saw what happened with the sequels, and a Rey movie would only be a reminder of those. And unless they're going to completely reinvent the character from the ground up, I think a lot of fans are just not going to support this movie regardless. Now, yes, we've talked about this before. There is a post-Episode 9 series in the works by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni that does plan to reinvent the character, giving her a brand new bloodline, a brand new backstory, etc., and quite frankly, deleting the REY SKYWALKER name in and of itself that she gave herself at the very end of Episode 9. So, Jon and Dave are preparing to put an end to all of that, but that's, in the distant future as it is. Now, what's interesting about this, she continues to state the following. We have an open opportunity and a great story to tell with this film that I think is going to change every fan's minds out there. Most fans are already wrong about their assumption with this film. We begin shooting in 2024. That's legitimate, and this film is in no way even close to a cancellation. It's happening, and I think fans just need to accept that from us, that they need to deal with it. This is a character that has much room to grow and will carry the legacy of Luke Skywalker on her shoulder. So fans need to seriously chill, because Rey is the true continuation of the heart of the story. After the sequels, to rebuild the Jedi Order, it's just the way it needs to be and makes so much sense. Both Charmin and Knight are killing it with this movie, and he's been getting ready to finish the ending once the writer's strike comes to a conclusion. Now guys, another valid reason why fans have an issue with Rey and the concept of Rey Skywalker is that everything related to that has a lot to do with the fact that people want to see Luke rebuilding an established Jedi Order that does not burn down to the ground. You know, again, this was all a Kathleen Kennedy-driven plan right from the get-go. It was all a dangling of the carrot in the sequels, and I've acknowledged that several times. In the sequels, yes, Luke does rebuild the Jedi Order. He has over a dozen Jedi students in canon, and those all perish for the most part, and Ben Solo is considered in canon the first student of his, if you don't want to count Grogu per se, but that all burns down to the ground. In Legends, Luke rebuilds the Jedi Order, and it's very, very successful. Sure, it had some mishaps here and there in Legends, but it was very successful. And that was the true new Jedi Order that lived on. This is basically giving Rey what Luke was supposed to do in the current canon, borrowing itself from Legends. So basically that's why a lot of fans too have the issue with the Rey movie. It's not just about Rey, but it's the fact that Rey is the one rebuilding the Jedi Order. You know, what they really could have done, guys, and I'm going to put this bluntly, is that they could have fast-forwarded way into the future. I'm talking like maybe, let's say, for example, 500 years into the future where Rey is long gone. She is long dead. And somebody else took up the opportunity to rebuild the Jedi Order well after her demise. That, I think, would have been more fitting, and it would have been a great, fresh approach to Star Wars that could have created new characters and kind of dismantling that stigma with the sequel trilogy. That could have been an excellent way to handle that. And look, I'm with you guys, I'm with a majority. I'm not really looking forward to the Rey movie, but I really can't 100% judge something until I really see it. But let's be honest and real here, guys. It most likely is not going to be good. We know who's handling this. Charmin, the director of Mrs. Marvel episodes, is handling the directing of this movie. I don't really have full faith in that, and that just goes to show you exactly who's running the show as well. Stephen Knight, a writer that not a lot of people have heard of. A lot of his movies and projects have been kind of flops and very low rated, so that's also another concern. So guys, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.